Hello. I come prepared. No, it doesn't bother me enough to change it. The lighthouse. I don't want to write this commentary. Progress is saved at the end of each chapter. So there are 4 chapters. Good to know.
Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
I thought I was gonna have to read, so this is nice. Was that too soft for you guys? Was that... Oh, I'm just like at the edge of the water. Must be boat dock. That boat will sink. Oh. Red, he just has a flashlight. Gross. This poor run downtown. Doc? I don't know enough about chemistry to know exactly what that is supposed to be saying. Looks like hydrogen bonds, but that was not something I studied in school. Seems to be relevant. This weird spattering. It's pretty though. Just checking to make sure there's no lag discrepancy with textures and stuff. Just a rock. Where am I going? Some trees. Oh, I currently don't run. And C is not crouch.
There was once talk of a wind farm out here, away from the rage and the intolerance of the masses. The sea, they said, is too rough for the turbines to stand. They clearly never came here to experience the becalming for themselves. Personally, I would have supported it. Turbines would be a fitting contemporary refuge for a hermit. The revolution and the permanence.
I hadn't thought about it in that manner. In Indiana, near where we used to do, okay, they still hold it there, but near the place they do the black belt count for my region. there was just a turbine layout. It was nice to know. Oh, it's Fibonacci's sequence? Is that what this is? Fibonacci. I think it's Fibonacci. It's someone's sequence. Was I supposed to go upstairs? And it was kind of nice to see the turbines and be like, yes, I'm getting close. But also kind of creepy at night to just see like hundreds of red lights flashing.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Weird. How far can I go? Why are there car doors in this weird cavern? There is probably a point at which it gets too deep, though. Don't need to drown. Also, I don't know if anyone else has seen a fin of a turbine just like on a trailer being hauled to wherever it's going. I've never stood at the bottom of a turbine, so I can't compare to the whole tower height, but like those things are huge. I want to be able to sprint. The slightly 2D pasted flowers waving in the wind is hilarious, though. I wonder if that's where I was. What was it? It's not a turbine night, but must be something similar.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
What reasons?
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
He climbs all the way out there to carve it dead? Wild. Gardens. Or vertical rocks. I don't know which country this is set in. Oh, that's barbed wire. Or chain. Barbed wire. I think I saw pokey bits.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Interesting. Alright. Must be way down there, I suppose. I mean, somebody bothered to put in enough fencing you wouldn't fall off the cliff. At least not immediately. You'd have to try. Wild.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Spooky OSHA. Are you talking about the railings being spooky OSHA? Nice. I just want to walk to the white lines and see it. I think the caves is the next area, though. I guess falling into the brook could be dangerous. If a little odd.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
Creepy. But no, you're just standing on the rocks that I could see. I'm pretty sure the path up is over here. If I stop getting stuck on rocks. How weirdly dark. Oh. Achievement
Dear
unlocked.
Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the Welcome Break services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the M5 is Britain. Oh, did I miss the chalk lines? I wonder if there was a way up. See if I can find it. I might be on it. I don't know which side of the cliff face I'm on. Got my hair trimmed today. The barber was very enthused to see that I had a book with me. Even though I couldn't tell him what it was about because it was the second one, so I told him what the first one was about. He was very excited and appreciative of my...
I've begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
Neither did he eat nor drink. I think is what's written on the side there. I wonder if you don't wander in every corner if you don't get certain letters. I was clearly up there. Or you can get up there. There's barbed wire. I might have missed it. Oh, it's across from me. And that was the way I came in. I think. I believe that was the load point. Going down to the boats. I haven't been to a real beach in years, I think. I haven't lived particularly close to the ocean. And I don't like Florida. And the beach of Lake Michigan is stabby. It's very rocky. in comparison to like other beaches. Can I get on the boats? Not that way. Casual. Just phase through that rope, it's fine. Man, I went on the boat. Lame. It's not easy to read from this direction. I don't know what I keep getting stuck on other than like grass.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
I don't know what that is. Mysteries.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Oh no. Guess that explains what happened to Esther. I mean, I figured it was a car accident of some kind, because talking about the M5, but... Dramatic piano.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Alright. Alright. I'm not sure what a bothy is. I will admit, that is not a term I'm familiar with. It's some kind of building, but...
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Oh man, what a rough way to go. Spurned by the locals, it seems. A couple of buildings. More bioluminescent paint. I'm not sure about that one either.
My heart is landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
It was pretty poor timing with the sirens. Okay, that's the bothy, I guess. Unless for some reason he meant the building over here, but... this is for critters. Oh! More nonsense. Well, okay, that's a lie. Fibonacci sequence is recognizable, but...
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Alright. At least he knows he's an alcoholic, I suppose.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness.
Interesting. It's generally kind of hard to land in a cove like this. Clearly more of a graveyard than anything.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
There are letters back here. Oh, I stepped all over some books. Wild. My watch keeps buzzing and I think it's the chat, but I'm too slow for the notification. Into the cave. Candle. Way eerier than I thought it was going to be. Woo! A slide.
Did Jakobsen crawl this far? Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
Oh, wow. How do you... There must only be one way out. And it's not back. Weird. How unusual. So much to look at.
I first saw him sat by the side of the road. I was waiting for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
Odd. Number of drawings is multiplied. I'm not quite sure what they're depicting. How did he get on the ceiling? Oh, I guess it gets quite close if you climb in here. Hi, Josh. How's your Sunday? No, I can't get on here. I don't think there's anything here. I'm just curious if I could. I wanted to see the candles up close. I'm doing good. Sad it's a rainy day, but at least it isn't cold enough for snow yet. How did I get in here? Did I miss the door? I walked right away from the door. Another plummet? Okay. How do I get back up? I like the art style. Even if I'm pretty sure the only point right now is just to listen to what he has to say. I think this is one of the ones I got out of a Humble Bundle. The donate for Ukraine one. Caves are so interesting. My favorite word is spelunking, which feels pretty apt for what this game is doing. Nice. Hi, Wes. Whoa. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Because the first fall you take is a load screen, so it's unsure. The last fall I took was probably only like 30 feet, but don't know how far down with I went to start with. Oh, we don't pull out the flashlight for this? Odd he hasn't said anything new.
I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Well, you broke your leg, and you're still working on it, so that seems likely. Yeah, I did like the planet when it was dark. the intricacies of the glowing plants and stuff. I don't think this goes anywhere. I was just checking it out. I'm surprised we haven't seen very many connected ones. But it depends, I think, upon the type of rock it's formed out of. Oh, that was just a weird little loop. Fair enough. Guess I'll walk on this side. Hi, Angel. Welcome to my Sunday stream. Right? I haven't done a whole lot but walk, but like, it's fun to look at. I probably need to cross that bridge, but like, I'm nosy. Yeah. Also doesn't go anywhere, but fun to look at. They're just crystals. My brain had like softly turned them into mushrooms, and I was like, those aren't mushrooms. This might be my footprints. It's hard to tell. Oh no, you're supposed to go up and around that way. Wow. Alright, going up. More hydrogen bonds. Or atom connections, I don't know. Definitely studied theater and not science. I'm pretty sure there are 4 areas. At least according to the loading screen when I clicked on that chapter. Whoa. What is this?
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters.
Do I have a
It can only
reflection?
be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
Don't fall in. Just wanted to see my reflection. Am I supposed to go the other way? Oh, I don't know if I can. I can't. Man, I want to climb up there. I'm probably just end to end surrounded by these crystals, but like, for this shit. In answer to your height question, light is coming from way up there. You be the judge of how far you think that is. Are you playing today, Angel? Or you just lurking to lurk? Behold, Damascus is fallen, maybe? Taken? Taken. Whoa. It's everywhere. Okay, well, Damascus is taken as kind of copy printed places, but it's okay. Away from being a city. We're still talking about Damascus. And it shall be a ruinous heap. Huh. Yeah, that was my reminder to walk. I mean, you do seem the most raccoon of the bunch there, Sam. Oh, I wanted to look behind me, not fall back into the water. Weird. Just a little swim pathway. Ah! I was trying not to fall in. A memory? Ooh. Okay, I was like, I'm in darkness and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Other than hopefully not drowning. Though it might help his leg if he's in the water. Creepy eyeball. I thought it was going to be more of a drop than that. Oh, those are candles. I thought there was something on my screen for a second. without candles first.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
The questions you don't get answers to. Oh, I thought I could go farther. No, I'm not going that way. I don't like being in the water. I can get to this lone candle though. I never bothered to click the mouse. I didn't know I could zoom. Not that there's been anything particularly interesting to zoom in on. It just... What? So many places to go. The beach, the cave. I'm gonna try the cave first because it's closer, and then walk down and get to the beach, I guess. Unless it loads me in somewhere and then I'm trapped. Because I think you have to reload an area if you want to go back. I've done this the hard way. I like the music. Stare at the moon. I'm gonna be kind of sad if there's nothing up here. Oh, a paintbrush. Luminous paint. Wait, you just found luminous paint in one of the ships? I mean, he said something about it, but I... Who sells that? I don't understand. I don't often go to the hardware store and I'm like, do you have luminescent paint? Photos of the wreck.
Of fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a ruin. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway. making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceilings.
Oh, he cremated her. I'm not sure what that is. Other than it looks like a medical device. My face is super itchy right now. I think there's a hair caught in my eyebrow and it's just driving me a little bit crazy. A shipyard? Is it low tide? You never be able to bring a ship in here with all these rocks. I wonder what these used to be. It might be low tide and it may be covered with water, but unusual. I can't tell much about that picture. Or bioluminescence. He spent a lot of time making these little shrines. I mean, if you got nothing else to obsess over, I guess that's fine. Did he just, like, bring a bunch of pieces of her death to this island? Whack.
There were chemical diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in, sticky at the handle where his hands shook. He worked for a pharmaceutical company with an office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity.
Light from heaven shone around. Here? Climb back onto this ledge, you weirdo. Him. Oh. Light from heaven shone around him. I feel like people would notice the candles, though.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Aww. Oh, there were stairs. I make my own path. Even if it's wrong. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Eggs? Chickens? Womp womp. I don't know why I'm so tired. Well, I might be sleepy because I'm cold. It's not much chillier than yesterday. This sweater may not be as thick as the one I was wearing yesterday. You can't see it in the cute current viewpoint, but I'm wearing calcifer on both my shirt and my socks today. Happenstance, I just randomly picked up the calcifer sock and I was like, oh.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal. As I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
He was in the car with her? I missed that earlier. Where am I going? Ooh, okay, that one was a bit more of a fall. Oops.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And as he was proceeding on his journey, and has come near to Damascus. And he was...
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat or drink. Okay, so that was from earlier. I was on the boat. I'm heading towards the tower, the aerial. I suppose that stands to reason. He did say something about an ascent.
The stones in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
So, side candlelit shack. Oh wow. I wandered quite a ways. How did he do that? That does look like he painted all on that cliff face, right? Wow. And it came to pass that as doubt getting closer is going to make this any easier to read. That as I made my journey and was come night unto compass. Oh, I can't read that one. Something about noon. Suddenly shone from heaven a great light round about me. And could not see for the...
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jacobson back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
The glory. That light being led by the hand of memory. Oh, of them. Man of the rocks. That were with me. I can't read this backwards. Aggressive. The wind. Continuing on about Damascus. Oh, it's because I've gotten quite high. I was like, it got aggressively windy. It's because I'm very high above sea level now. Well, not very high, but higher than I was.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an Ariel, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
I guess I should have added a suicide tag to this. I didn't know. To be fair, I did not know that this is how this was gonna end. I knew it was sad, but I hadn't looked up anything about it. Okay, well, we're a bird, I guess. Just so you guys know, it's doing all of this. I have taken my hands off of touching anything. What a sad little story. It was interesting that it was like 4 stories intertwined. Okay, bye.